Tim, I realize that the Celtics and the Warriors at this point in the season are not where they wanted to be based on whatever reason, but they are still two of the marquee franchises we have in the NBA today. So what did you make, just from a basketball fan standpoint, of the performance of these two teams here tonight?
Well, Mike, let's start off and let's applaud what we just watched, because that, for me, was the most entertaining game I've watched all season. And I was sitting there watching the show that Tatum and Curry were putting on, and I'm saying, could you imagine having a ticket to this right now, like sitting there in a lower bowl, not a lot of people in there, to watch that shootout. So it shows you what can happen when star players actually play, a game is hyped, and they come out and they play to that level. It reminds you of how good the NBA can be when the star players are playing like that. And so for me, that's the biggest takeaway. And then also for Boston, what a huge win. This might be their best win of this season because they're playing better. They're on a bit of a roll, and they really needed to get this win. And they needed somebody to step up other than Jason Tatum. And, man, they got it in a big way. Tatum was spectacular the entire game, but to get the timely contributions that they did from Kemba Walker, an enormous three-pointer by Marcus Smart. I know this had to feel good for him, having to guard Curry all night and chase that guy around when he's having one of those, those rare nights, to be able to knock down a huge three at the end of the game. And then the greatness of Jason Tatum, matching Curry literally bucket for bucket the entire way. I just felt like this was a really important gut check type of win for the Boston Celtics. Down 16 at one point, you come back, your best player goes off, but then you're going to need it from somewhere else. And, man, did they get some timely shot making out of Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart. Peyton Pritchard played well also in that stretch. So give the Celtics credit because they held off a absolute flurry by Steph Curry tonight. He made shots tonight, Mike, that were impossible to really believe. I thought I'd seen everything I could in his career. He showed me one more time why this guy is so spectacular, stuff he could do in small spaces and tight windows, getting those shots off.
All right, so I want to ask you about that, Tim, because one of the reasons I enjoy talking about you is I followed this game for a long time, but every time I talk to you, sometimes, just about every time I talk to you, you give me something that I didn't see or didn't realize for myself. And when it comes to Steph Curry, he's a two-time MVP. We know he's one of the greatest shooters of all time, if not the greatest shooter. So you expect him to play well, even when his team may not be where it is. But explain to me, Tim, how he's able to do what he's able to do when everybody on the court knows he's about to shoot it from wherever, and he still can drop 47 on you.
Well, Mike, listen, if you want to know the impact of Steph Curry on the game, just go watch YouTube. Go watch an AAU tournament. Go look at what guys are working on in their games. This guy is 6'4". He's slightly built. And what he has done is show people what you can do just through skill repetition. Because I think Steph Curry, for me, when you combine the three skill components of the game, pass, dribble, shoot, if you gave every player that's ever played a ranking from 1 to 100 or a score from 1 to 100 in each of those three categories, and you totaled them up, I think Steph Curry has the highest skill combination of anybody who's ever played because he's got one of the best handles this league has ever seen. He's obviously the best shooter that this league has ever seen. And I'm not just talking about what he could do from the three-point line. I mean, the stuff he's doing off the dribble, right, left, step backs, guys draped on him in these small little boxes that he's operating in. But then it's also the finishing ability, Mike. He's basically ambidextrous on his finishes. He's got an array of floaters and runners, and he puts English on the ball when he needs to. He has given hope to so many players that aren't athletic freaks, that aren't 6'8", 250, that can just work on their game through repetition, and it gives you hope of some of the things you can accomplish. That's what this guy has been for this generation. He's in his 12th year, I believe. And he really started doing this stuff about year 6. And I really thought there's really nothing Steph Curry's going to do at this point to mesmerize me completely. He just did it again. And I actually think some of the injuries he's had have helped him because he missed time. He looks like he's 25 years old with his energy, his bounce, how much juice he has. And that's not something you expect to see out of a guy that's got that kind of mileage on his legs. And that is why he's having his turn back the clock moment right now and arguably playing the best stretch offensively of his entire career.
Hey, athleticism is God-given, but anybody can hone their talent by working on their skills, and that's what Steph Curry has clearly done and continues to light up the league. Tim, always, man, appreciate the insight.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.